Hey everybody, my name is Jack. I'm a junior in computer science, and as someone who kind of comes from a background of being unapplied and lazy in high school to being well thought and structured as a college student, I wanted to give 5 tips on how to be a better computer science student. My first tip for becoming a successful computer science student is just to show up to as many courses that your little mind can handle. It's going to be hard to make every single class. I found that people who show up to classes do significantly better in class as well as on their final exams and in their grades, and they're overall just less stressed compared to those who obviously skip lectures, miss information, and just overall kind of slack off. So, my number one tip, if you're coming on to college and it's your first time, it's your first semester coming on, just try and show up to every single lecture that you possibly can bear. Missing one or two isn't the end of the world, and if you read the syllabuses and you know your stuff, then you'll be plenty okay. But just be aware that attendance is one of the main things that you can control that will make you much better as a college student in general. Next, make sure that you're spending enough time studying and doing homework. In college, the expectation for how long you spend outside of class working on the classwork is much greater than any other thing you've faced before. Usually, they expect you to work from 1 hour to 3 hours outside of each class that you attend for every hour that you're in class, right? So, if I'm in class for an hour in my discrete mathematics class, usually the recommendation is like 2 to 3 hours of working on homework and studying for every single hour that you're in class. So if I meet 3 times for discrete mathematics in a week, then I should be spending about 9 hours a week outside of class on the high end and 3 hours outside of class on the low end for homework and studying every single week. You'll come to realize that everybody has their own unique style of working on assignments, from the guy who wakes up at 7 in the morning, goes to the gym, hits the school books, and then immediately does his homework after, versus the gamer who would much rather do the homework late in the morning. Both of these are approaches that are okay as long as you are attempting every assignment and doing it to your best ability with the time that you're given. So yeah, just make sure that you keep an eye on your homework and studying output and make sure that it's a reasonable amount for what you're putting in. Another key point for success is working on side projects. This not only helps you stand out, but also allows you to explore your passions for computer science in a really fun and interactive way. Imagine being able to say, "Oh, I built that app in my spare time." For instance, I spent most of my time exploring machine learning concepts in Unity, game design, 3D modeling, and I think that these things have taught me a lot of coding experience, hands-on understanding of AI, how to use packaging frameworks. Like, there's so many things that your computer science degree won't teach you if you want to get into something like software development or game development or whatever niche you're trying to get into. So, bridging the gap between the thing that you like doing and what you're good at, right, and what you're learning at school, that's your job. So, if you want to go develop games, if you want to go make beautiful websites, whatever you want to do, you should be starting that now. You should learn how to do that now. So by the time that you're a professional and you're a graduate at college, you have successfully bridged the gap between you and the technology that you enjoy using. The fourth tip that I would give for aspiring computer science students is really focusing on the feedback that you get in college. You are there for a reason. You are paying for your professor's office hours, the lectures and the in-class time that you have with them, the resources like the textbooks and the assignments that the professors will hand out, and the grades or the feedback that your professors give. So if you find yourself in a crutch where you maybe have gotten a D or a couple of Fs in a single semester, this is the time where you really look back and say, is this something I want to approach? What went wrong? What can I do better? And if you're somebody who's an A student who got a C or a C minus or a D, and you're one of those students, just know that you are paying for this feedback and you are paying to know where you fall short as a computer science student and as a developer in general. So really make sure that you're taking advantage of the professor office hours, which will always be empty at the beginning of semesters and will slowly fill up over time. But for the most part, this is a very underestimated like resource you get in college. So make sure that you're going to office hours, you're looking at your grades and understanding what's going wrong or what's going right, and you're really using that feedback system to become a better developer. Utilizing AI in an ethical way has never been more important, especially in the field of computer science, where it's just the homeworks are so difficult, the math is so complex, and why would you sit there debugging a program when you could copy and paste your program into ChatGPT and have it somewhat working, some sort of hodgepodge of a mess of code that you can take and edit and use that to get your homework done. I totally get it. As a student who's been studying computer science for 3 years, I've had my dabbles with AI, and in my experience, it really just takes away from the learning experience. And if you're paying to get that feedback and you're paying to learn more about these assignments, right? But you're using ChatGPT instead to do it for you, how much are you really learning and how much money are you wasting for every time that you use ChatGPT to do the work for you? Just a consideration. I think that, um, you know, AI is very useful for software developers and it's going to change the industry. It's going to be regularized and it's going to be the next thing. So completely throwing away AI usage, I think, would only do you harm. And that's where ethical AI usage comes in, which is basically within the bounds of what is ethically reasonable, right? Which you can look at and check your syllabuses to see what each professor is saying, what is ethically viable for their classroom. And every classroom is different. I have had professors who openly say, please use ChatGPT if you find a way to use it, right? If you find a way to make it useful for this classroom, they encourage it, yada yada, right? So check the syllabi and make sure what do your professors consider as ethical AI usage. So before I go, I wanted to share something with you that a very wise TA or teaching assistant told me in a lab once, and it was to figure it out. Meaning, you've made it this far in life, you're plenty capable, you're prepared, and now it's time to just figure it out. If you have goals, if you want to be a great programmer, if you want to be a great computer science student, and you want a successful career, all you really have left at this point is just to figure it out. Give yourself ample breaks. Become a strong and capable person that you know you can become. You got this. You've made it in the home stretch. You've made it into the school that you'd like to, or maybe you're thinking about applying. Whatever you're going for, just make sure that you figure it out. There's a lot of labor and struggle that people don't really put together until they're inside of it. Like getting your computer science degree is going to be one of the hardest things that you can go for. But if you stay strong and you figure it out, I know that you can do it because I'm doing it right now. And it feels amazing to be a part of and to be accepted into and to be successful in. If you enjoyed the video and you got some good information out of it, please consider subscribing, liking, and being active in the comments. Specifically, comment down below your computer science journey and what you're excited about for your development career and what you want to get into. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys later. Bye-bye.